in 45 minutes.
We're gonna do the weather dough show.
Takes a few
45
seconds.
minutes-ish after the grand drive for
Okay.
weather, so maybe just periodically announcing that in the barns today, just giving them a heads up that we're
Weather dough
the
show.
weather dough show will start 45 minutes after the barn dough grand drive.
Okay, 45 minutes. All right. So, all right. Just kick me in the knee again, okay? Yes. Does anybody want to sing? No? Okay. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Sunday. We will begin today's contest with the Star Spangled Banner. All right. Looks like we're going to exhibit some goats. We have Mr. Connor Brew from Elkhart, Indiana. And he's been involved in showing as well as judging. He attended South Plains College in Levelland, Texas. And trust me, it is level. And while there, he was named the high individual at the National Western and the American Royal. And he was also an academic All-American on the junior college level. He somehow managed to get accepted into Texas Tech, and he completed a bachelor's degree in animal science with a business concentration. Connor and his wife Mallory currently reside in Lubbock, where he serves as a bouncer at Blue Light, and he is the livestock judging coach at South Plains, and enjoys evaluating shows and working with youth from coast to coast. Connor Brew, ladies and gentlemen, he is your goat market judge.
Well, welcome here. Good morning. And I'll tell you, it's certainly an honor, a privilege for me to be here with you this morning. I'll be truthful with you. When Robin called me and I was driving to school, I looked at my voicemail and I figured, hey, maybe she wants me to do some showmanship. And I was pumped about that. So to find out it was the Market Goat and your Doe show is a true honor for myself. I take this very seriously. Those that know me know I like to move at a good pace. When I judge a livestock show, I'm usually quick to the pole and fast to the trigger. This first class here, I don't know if I've ever took as long in a class just to get them lined out of where I want to be. I want to set the tone in the right direction as we go through your goat show, yet at the same time in a class 1, we have every single shape, size, color, denomination you could ever make in a show goat. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to be. Ultimately, I thought these two goats up front were just a little more genuine, not only in terms of their structure and their skeleton, their spine work. I thought they were still fresher compositionally for little lightweight goats. The one that I was enamored with, just from a structure, a balance, and just a freshness standpoint, the young lady's cape that leads you out up front. I think when that guy's standing still or in motion is how I like stock built. He's cleaner in his shoulder and his breastbone. He's better in his spine set. He's longer in his rump and more athletic in his hind leg. And I just like the flow of his top line, his freshness of look and style there from the profile. You want to get on him and tell a guy right now, class 1, he's not just as thick down his back line and from behind as the goat in second. Again, I'm not going to thumb wrestle you here. I think that's the difference. I like his skeleton. I like his freshness. I like his spine set. That goat's real good when he goes in motion. They make a nice team, and that's the kind of stock, if you know me, I like to gravitate to. This guy's hard, the sandy-headed goat, because we got an awesome hand here on the front end. And when this guy gets him rocking and rolling, that is a hard back goat that's got more muscle. When you get right in behind through the depth of his stifle, he is wider base through and through, and I'll be the first to tell you that. Where I'm at in a class 1 of a lightweight scenario, he's a little short in his rump. He's a little bunchy in his spine when he takes a lap there in motion. We're in class 1. We got a little too much shoulder, a little too much breastbone. He's just a little stale. When I get on top of him for where we're at in a weight perspective, you want to switch the pair. Tell me he's more balanced, more muscular. I completely buy it. I like to build the freshness there of your class winner. Hey, this guy right here, this black goat, he's got the boots with the fur, the big legs that we can all gravitate towards, a fat forearm, a big noggin. He is as wide, young lady. He is as powerful as anything amongst this grouping, and that's why I kept working you up. Again, a lot like a couple of the goats coming in behind as I set the tone for the type of stock I like. He's just a little quick in his maturity curve. He's a little straight off either end in terms of his body. And then for being as muscular from the outside as he is, young lady, he's probably the softest one of the whole entire group in terms of his actual texture and tone of his muscle. We free him up off either end. We shape him up. He's got big parts, big pieces, but that's what he is, just a little piecey to me. This goat here, I thought in 4 and 5, again, we lost a victim to the scale that I thought handled real fresh and honest, and that's why he worked up over this goat. I thought the same could be said. The young man coming in 4, you want to talk about a skin texture, buddy. You've done an awesome job at home. His high quality is immaculate. You got him drenched up. You've got him prepared to the nines here today. He's a little tight wound in his spine for me. He'll roll up there in his back line. He's a little round in his rump. He's just a little piecey in his skeleton. I thought handle quality, showmanship, presentation, second to none. Very good to you. I told the young lady here she landed in 6. She fell up in the 5 spot. You made it real hard on me throughout the duration of the class because your goat came in, I read him a little frail, a little flat when I got on top of him, but then you prop him up and Marvelous Showman there gets the most out of him. He comes together in his top line. He's good out of his hip. When push came to shove, a little fragile for me, a little flat, a little plain when I got on top, but that's an awesome showman there. I'm going to talk to each and every kid as we work down the line today. I promise I'll pick the pace up when we need to, but if you would, give him a nice round of applause here. That's a heck of a way to start.
Congratulations to Class 1 exhibitors. Our first place was Taylor Clark from Douglas County. In second was Corbin Joggers from Bent County. Third was Kinsley Hannell, Rio Grande County. Fourth, Brody Shreve, Larimer County. Fifth, Brody Shreve again from Larimer County. In sixth place, we had Hayden Gallus from Yuma County. Seventh, Keith Page from Washington County. In eighth was Whitley Schweitzer from Larimer County. Ninth, Sidney Rorich from Chaffee County. And in 10th place, Torin Neugebauer from Prowers County. Entering the ring now is the second class of lightweight goats, class 3302. There should be 16 goats entered for Connor to evaluate. Immediately after this class, got another class of lightweights. Then we'll name our champion and reserve champion in the market goat lightweight division.
Well, goodness, I thought the first class was really, really good, but we have gotten in deep here, and you got to take the floaties off here. You're in the big kid pool, and you better figure out where you want to be. Again, I thought the first class was tough just because there were so many different kinds. Once again, we're kind of dealt the same card here, so you just need to figure out what side of the deck you're on. We got some pretty goats that maybe lined up there in 3 and 4, and again, I told you first class, I like pretty stock. I like good-looking stock, but at the same time, we're at a state fair, and you better have some horsepower and some gas to you. I thought these two represented just the epitome of stoutness, balance, and power to the absolute nines, and yet still they're more genuine. You get up in front and right in behind than these two goats here. Between the pair, I like this goat that leads out, and try to pick a big hole in him. I challenge you that. I don't think it's possible. You talk about a goat that is just the epitome of balance to me. He's clean fronted, he's good shouldered, his chest is where it needs to be, and then you draw one back. That good in terms of his strength of line, his length of rump, and where his tail sits. To have a hip and a tail that cranked up, to have a hind leg that takes a gait and grabs the ground the way he does, really, really hard to do. I'm not going to tell you he's as ripped up and raw and ranked down his back line as the goat there in second, but again, I like his rear structure. I like his athleticism. There's your look of him, a power balance goat that still gets out in boogies. I like that kind very, very well. This goat is an absolute unit when you get behind him. I mean, he is packing some horsepower. He did not leave the butt cheek and the muscle at home when he came to the state fair. This thing is creased up and rolly down his back. He's big and square from behind. Again, I got to make a call. We don't know what's coming in behind. One of these goats might be my grand here. At the end of the day, he's too coarse for me up at the base of his blade. We get that pair out and go in motion. He's a little rounder in terms of his rump, a little squattier in his hind leg. You watch him track right away. He'll kind of kick and sway like a show bearer from behind. I just didn't read him as good in terms of his balance and structure as what your class winner is. But that is a marvelous pair, and I'm willing to take him the long haul if we don't get something better. I like those goats. Buddy, this one's the oddball 3 and 4. And again, I tell you, I like this kind very, very well. He's an up and out pretty goat, and if that's what you want to label him, I like his looseness. I like his structure. We walked those 3 right away, buddy. I just need more horsepower and more steam here from behind. He's a little cut up in his twist. He's a little plain crotch. I didn't think he had the same shape all the way throughout there. Hey, this guy's got a lot of freak and a lot of cool parts and pieces to him. He is one wild looking thing up through his front end in motion. Head shape's good, chest, forearm, all that stays in line. A lot like a few goats that we'll probably discuss and work through the day. Just too squatty for me in terms of his rump and his hind leg. I'd like to lengthen his hip out and pull up his tail. And then of those 4, no questions to me, you get on top. He's just the flattest in terms of his body shape and his general width. But I thought that goat's balance, his skeleton, is why he needed to be over the goat in 5. Hey, this goat in 5, a lot like our goat in second, you get behind him, and he is packing a wagon in terms of power and muscle, a true power goat, and stoutness from end to end. But he's a little coarse up through his shoulder. He'll break right in behind his blade, and I didn't read him as athletic as the pair ahead. That's a darn nice power goat there. So I love that top 5, and again, I think that top pair is really, really good. I talked to the young people down the line. Please pay him off with a nice round of applause here if you guys would.
Congratulations to Class 2. Our class winner is Trent Mock from Douglas County. In second place was Caitlin Meckelberg from Yuma County. And in third was Colton Hermes from Washington County. In fourth was Addison Hodson from Weld County. Fifth place was Corbin Jaggers from Bent County. In sixth place was Cash Campbell from Sedgwick County. In seventh was Casey Quang from Boulder County. Eighth, Tierney Hickey from Weld County. Ninth place, Sidney Rorich from Chaffee County. And in 10th, Brody Shreve from Larimer County. Entering the ring now is Class 3. We have 16 goats entered. Immediately after this class, we will pick your champion and reserve champion lightweight division winners.
Well, I believe this is our last class here at Division I. And again, as you think about a livestock show and where you're going to go, to me, each and every class is going to matter. And I tell that to my judging students. You never know which one you're going to have to land on and light on for grand as you go down the line. And truthfully, to me, in a market goat show, size, weight's not of question. In this judge's opinion, if you've showed under me, I'm willing to pull the trigger and use a lightweight if we need to. I'll tell you what, this is a wildly, wildly good class, and I feel bad for a lot of you. I know almost every single one of these goats in this lineup probably costs more than my car, and they're very, very expensive little critters, so I get it. I know how challenging it is. I think 3, 4, and 5, I'm sure you guys had them clipped up on the stand, got them fit up and glued up and said, hey, we got a shot, and we're going to roll. And that's so many cases. That's what we land into. Unfortunately for you, we have 2 of them here that absolutely pushed the envelope and are freaks on leashes here. This thing that leads you out up front, I will never tell you he's just the bubbliest in this group. I'll never tell you he's the longest rumped and the best in his hind leg posture in this group. But I'll tell you what, build me one that looks like that and give me a holler, because that thing right there has absolutely freaked out in terms of his elevation, yet still he is really, really opened up and round in his body shape. He's progressive in terms of his muscle because he's wedged right up front. And then right there in terms of extension, length, pattern, freshness, shape, squareness, all the good jazz, I think that thing is absolutely wacky to look at and needs to get us rolling here in the group. He's better through his shoulder, his front end and his maturity curve than the goat that comes in second. He's longer in his rump in that regard. I liked his length, his extension, his spine set better than 3. He's got more booty than 4, a better hind leg than 5. So to me, he kind of puts it all together in a real good package. I like that goat nicely. As far as freak pieces and parts and pushing the envelope, again, this goat in second is no slouch. That is a fat hind leg, big, big muscles out of the backside of his shoulder, and he's got a big arm, a big head, and a square chest laid into him. Unfortunately, we talk about wedging livestock in the right direction. You get right here to the 3/4 view, the widest portion of him is his shoulder blade and his scapula and the way it sits onto his body. I need to broaden him in his hip. I need to open him in his pin setting. We do so in terms of stoutness, power, and balance. That goat's very, very nice to me up through his front end, and just his wedge doesn't run with your class winner, but a darn powerful one there. This guy gives me fits as well here in third, because I get views of him where you want to label him as complete as any. He too is a wide, big stouty in terms of his back, handles square, handles hard down his top side. I got too many views in motion and standing still, young lady, where he got just too piecey on me and didn't measure up in the right direction. He's a little short in his rump. He's a little tight in his hind leg. I get him going away. He's just a little piecey for me. But another stout one that handles big, he handles square. I thought he had more muscle than the goat in 4. This goat in 4 from the profile really locked me in, and I love parts and pieces about this guy. He's more up-fronted. He's better in his shoulder and his length and extension than the goat directly in front. Young lady, I make one pass right behind on my initial sort. He's the lightest in the butt department, the plainest in his cheek, yet still he'll twist out in his hock. When I get right in behind him, we square him up. We power him up from behind. It's a different ball game, because that's my favorite one, through his front end, his chest, his sternum. He's youthful up front. He didn't pack enough just punch and heat when you get in behind him here in this lightweight division. This goat here in 5, this young lady's a marvelous hand, and when you get him locked and loaded, again, like our first class, you make it hard on a guy. I like his look up front. He's got a good chest, a good shoulder laid into him, a little squatty from behind, a little tight in his hind leg, and then of those 5, gives up the most, just right in behind his shoulder blade in terms of four-rib shape. That's a marvelous hand there to round out your top 5. Good goats all the way down the line. I want to talk about the goat in 6, because I really like him standing still. He'll get a little piecey behind his shoulder blade when I study him there in motion. So I think we're going to get you a drive. It's about to be a good one, so tune in here. Give him a nice round of applause here if you guys would.
Let's congratulate Class 3, our final class of lightweight market goats. In first place was Miles Rutledge from Yuma County. In second place was Dylan Stone from Weld County. In third place, Cambry Rogers from Rio Blanco County. In fourth, Bristol Lesky from La Plata County. And in fifth, Lucinda Mares from Sedgwick County. In sixth, Whitley Schweitzer from Larimer County. Seventh, Peyton Gould from Larimer County. Eighth, Elena Boschel from Weld County. Ninth, Lexi Vrayback from El Paso County. And in 10th, once again, Lucinda Mares from Sedgwick County. Next, we will crown our champion lightweight market goat. We need our class winners from Class 3, which would be Miles Rutledge, we need Trent Mock from Class 2, and Taylor Clark from Class 1. Our second place animals, Corbin Jaggers from Bent, Caitlin Meckelberg, and Dylan Stone. This is your champion lightweight drive, champion market goat lightweight drive. First call for Class 4, our first class of middleweight goats. We've got 17 goats entered. I know goats are coming from 2 different directions. Class 4, first call, make your way to the ready area, please. Attention in the beef barn. If too many blowers were going, your meeting for exhibitors is going on now. You need to get over there and listen to instructions.
As we put a bow on Division I here, I told you I probably took as long maybe through these classes as I ever have, but at times, again, to those that have seen me judge, I like to go at a good pace, and sometimes I just forget to enjoy being out here and working with the young people at a state fair level. So I'll take my time here as we need to. I got nothing else to do through the rest of the day, but I promise you'll still get out and get you a good dinner. So this was a really good first division, and you guys have been fabulous. We have 6 goats out here that I think are wonderful, and again, I'm willing to take them the long haul. If you would, give them a nice big round of applause here for their efforts throughout the year. We had some tough groups, and it started out there with Class 1. There was a mosh pit, about 4 or 5 of them. You could go any different direction, and I think we landed on a pair that were very different. We had probably a little more muscle in the goat in second, but I read him a little plainer in terms of his balance. Our class winner, he looks a little skinny out here in relation to some of these big horses behind, but I still like his feet and legs. I like his skeleton, and that was the one I could bank on just in terms of his profile, and mainly his upside, because he's very fresh still in relation to what we had behind. The horsepower got deep as you went here to Class 2, and this is where they started getting thick on us real fast. This pair, I thought, were just opened up square goats with extra shape and muscle from noggin to tail and tail to toe. They're both powerful goats that balance up real nicely. I like the length of rump, the length of step, and the spine and front end of the goat that led you out a little bit nicer, and then you bring him out here in the lineup. I'd listen to arguments that he's arguably the most complete of all the goats here in the lineup. Not a big fault, not a big flaw in him. Is he as freaked out and is chunked out in areas or two? Certainly not, but that guy's good structured, he's nice balanced, he comes together with a good profile, and he's in the mix for me. I'll be truthful with you, because I just think he's so hard to pick major flaws and dings in, and he's still a very nice goat in terms of pattern, presentation, and freshness, and I thought he needs discussion here in the lineup. It got freaky fast as we moved here to Class 3. The water was so deep as you worked 4 or 5 of them deep, and 3, 4, and 5 win a lot of state fairs. Unfortunately, these 2 horses here, they got the muscle, they got the stoutness, and there's no question about it. Yet still, although both muscular, stout, powerful, get you a look here of this class winner, and I bet you he looks like an absolute freakazoid on camera there. He is freaked out through his front end, his skull's right, his chest, his shoulder blade raised right, and he's still got the extra stretch, the length of body, the length of spine that this guy likes from the profile. Again, we told you in class, is he just as gnarly right out of the backside of his blade as the goat in second? Absolutely not. Is he just ginormous elephant-legged like the goat in second? Certainly not, but he's better in his shoulder, he's longer in his spine, he's longer in his rump, and looks like $1 million there from the profile. Your goat that was second, that is a baby little fat steer in the making in terms of bone, feature, power, and squareness. Really good. He's a little crude for me for a lightweight through his shoulder. His front end, he's a little short measuring and compact. And again, you talk about wedging livestock, he's maybe just a little inverted when you get to the 3/4 view, but he's in the mix, because my goodness, is he stout and got the big timber underneath. So again, this is a real good lineup, and I'm going to tell you what I think as I move through the day, because you guys have put a lot of money, a lot of time into these projects, and I hate going to a livestock show and not knowing why I got beat. So I'm going to tell you why as we move through the day. It's a real close race for reserve, but there's a dominant champion. Give this young man last class a nice round of applause here. He's holding them. We We dropped that second in, and again, this is where I think it's real close, because if you want to follow in suit with a little more stout, a little more shape, a little more freak like your champion, you go in the direction of your Class 3 second. If you just want to build livestock as fundamental, as true, and as square and comfortable as you can, you need to go with the Class 2. Again, he probably doesn't match up like your champion here in the division, but I don't care. I think he's the second best one in terms of feet and legs. I like the young man right here, Class 2, to be reserved.
Yep. All right. Congratulations to our champion lightweight goat was Miles Rutledge from Yuma County. In reserve was Trent Mock from Larimer County. Let's give those kids a nice round of applause and get ready for Class 4, our first class of medium. Pardon me, Trent Mock is from Douglas County. My readers are a little fogged up this morning. Pardon me. Trent Mock from Douglas County is your reserve champion. He came from Class 2. Class 4 should be entering the ring. First class of middleweight. Market goats. Class 5, this is your first call. Make your way to the ready area, please. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, a lot like our very first class of the day. When you move a next division up, I think we have some goats that maybe just missed the cuts, or some goats that are maybe stalled out in terms of weight and where we're at. So like I told you in the first class, we can disagree all we like here as we work through the livestock. I just hope you can see what I see in the stock. Again, I say it every show, I'm a pretty scrawny fella. Anybody in this barn can beat me up and take me in a fist fight. So if you like a different one, I'm not going to argue with you. Again, I think this class is very, very challenging. The goat that leads out to me is just the hardest. Again, I'm not all about making them complete, but in this setting, I just don't know where his big issue is in relation to other goats. He's a big-chested goat. He's great in his body shape. He's wide. He's square when you get in behind him, and still handles his feet and legs really, really good when he gets out and goes in motion. My big problem is, and why he's not a dominant, easy class winner, buddy, he'll get a little easy right in behind his shoulder. He's maybe a little plainer through the base of his blade and his chest floor in relation to the goat in second. Where I think he beats the rest of them, though, he's wider. He's got more hip and stifle than the goat in second. When you get in behind, I like his spine. I like his structure better than the goats in 3 and 4. He's got more booty when you get in behind him than the goat in 5. So to me, he kind of just puts it all together. Again, he won't thrill you from the profile, but everything makes sense. It fits. It correlates. A very, very complete goat that still has muscle and still has look. I just thought he was a really, really nice place to roll us. If you want to lobby and use this goat here in second, this spot neck goat up through the front third of his body, again, I'm not going to argue with you. He is cleaner in his shoulder. He's better in his shallowness, just at the base of his chest and what your winner is, and he's real strong down his back line. He's very fresh in terms of his muscle texture. I guess for me, again, you get right here to a 3/4 view and talk about wedging him right. Of this setting, young lady, he probably runs the most in terms of hip, stifle, and base width. When I get behind him of the entire top 5, I just need to open him up when I get right in behind him there. We don't have the issues there with 3 and 4. Both these goats are really, really muscular and stout in terms of their kind. I thought the goat there in 3, just a little bolder and bigger, right in behind his shoulder blade. He's firmer in terms of his texture and square in the way his hind leg will go to the surface. Young lady, like I said and alluded to there a second ago, I'd like to loosen his spine up. I'd like to lengthen his hip and just see him more athletic when we go there in motion. I thought that was a stout, wide, muscular power goat there. A lot of the same, as I said, can be said about the goat here in 4. Standing still, he can go up a couple spots, young lady. He is firm down his back. He's fresh. He's wide. He's got more muscle than the goats in 5 and 6 in terms of hip and stifle. Young lady, he goes in motion. He's just a little tight wound. For me, in his spine and hind leg, he'll kind of throw his rear leg there as he walks away from you. But that's a very, very nice goat. This one's hard because I want to run him up a spot or 2 standing still when the young lady locks and loads him. He's a nice pattern goat. He looks like your second place. Good down his top line. Good up front. I get right in behind him and just study his body shape. A little flat, not as much loin, not as much dimension as you work from his hind saddle back. I thought he ran out of power. A lot of the same can be said about the goat in 6. I thought those two were very, very similar and didn't have the power of the top 4 there. Like we've done here, that was a tough group there. It took a little time. Give them a nice hand here as they exit on their good work as we start Division 2.
Congratulations to our contestants in Class 4. In first place was Dalton Demers from Washington County. In second was Bella Campbell from Sedgwick County. In third place, Mason Hodgson from Weld County. In fourth place, Hayden Gallus from Yuma County. Fifth place, Hadley Powell from Kit Carson County. In sixth was Kinley Shrevogel from Weld County. Seventh was Gretchen Vermillion from Morgan County. Eighth, right behind her, was Bentley Hickey, Weld County. In ninth place, Corbin Jaggers from Bent County. And in 10th, Ryder Butler from Morgan County. In the ring now is Class 5. Class 3305 are middleweight market goats. There should be 17 animals in the show ring. Market beef kids, there will be a cattle fitting contest right after dinner at 1 p.m. at the Old Bessie milking area. Get your team together. And the QR code in the middle of the poster is how you sign up. And gather up a team and let's see who can fit some cattle. There's free t-shirts and big prizes sponsored by the Showtimes magazine, Sullivan Supply, and McKnight Show Cattle.
Well, this class kind of shakes out. Just a little interesting, as you guys can tell. We lost a few of them to the victim of the scales, and again, that's part of the game we play. And I know your GOAT judge last year, Mr. Skylar Scott, and those that know me know how much I think about him and how highly I respect his opinion on livestock. And he was kind of thrown into the same meat grinder at the Indiana State Fair. And it's a tough thing as a show judge when you kind of have your mind made up and then you lose a few of them. So we kind of had to go back to the drawing board just a little bit, and I say that not to take away from the quality of the goats that are right here in front of us and what your class winner is. I was just a very, very big fan of one of them that had to leave us. I think between this pair, again, you can like the goat in second all you'd like. You heard me in the first division. I like freaks. I like tricking them out, but it's still got to be the right kind. My idea of a freak is building them unique and building them wild and tacking on the muscle from there on, and I just couldn't stomach the build and skeleton of your second place goat. I like this goat. He was going to be in the top pair no matter what happened here in the group. He is just so flawless in terms of his build, his skeleton. He's an up-fronted goat. He's right in his maturity curve. He's better at the crest of his neck. He's longer cannon, longer rump, and simply just more athletic and better built. And I think, again, he's got plenty of muscle to me in his own right. Is he just as bubbly and as balled up in terms of his muscle? Certainly not. I think he's a longer muscle type of a goat. And man, is he pretty and attractive and smooth and fresh. Not just overwhelming, not the extra freak parts and pieces as a goat in second, but that's the kind I'd rather have 100 of on feed. There's no question about it in this judge's opinion. Stockton loaded here. This goat here, this sandy-headed goat, I'm sure is going to have a lot of fans. And again, I like him, and I like parts about him. That is a creased-up, muscled one. That certainly, again, he did not leave the butt cheek at home. When he came to the state fair, he is creasy, he is rolled up and extra powerful. I got to ask myself, and what I go through in a judging scenario with my judging kids all the time, is although this is a market goat show, would I want 100 females that look like that? And that's the question mark you have to make. He's a little too coarse, he's a little too quick, a little too cute in terms of his size for this guy, and just too small in his overall kind, a little coarse, a little round. He's got the freak, he's got the muscle, not this judge's kind there from the profile. You get here to the goat in third, and that's where I thought there was some discussion, because I really like this goat's completeness of his feet and legs. He's angular, he's flexible, he runs uphill really, really nicely. Young man, for me, when he got to this lineup here of the top three, I didn't read him as nice in his balance, his top line, and his feature and look as our class winner. He wasn't just as bubbly over his loin edge or his power from behind as a goat in second, but I thought you showed your way excellently into the third place spot. You got a really, really nice balanced goat, just a little plain in relation to those two. I thought you did a whale of a job there, my man. I like this goat's feet and legs real nicely when he gets out and goes. He's got a big hind leg. He's well presented, very, very smooth. Of those grouping of them, he'll open in his shoulder blade, get a little piecey behind it, and I didn't think he had the same power as I stepped right in behind him there, but a very, very nice pattern goat. A lot of the same can be said about this goat that rounds out your top five. This little young lady showed the wheels off of this thing there from the profile. He moves real nice. He's good down his top line, just a little plain in terms of his muscle and his shape when I got in behind him there. But guys, that was a real good group of five, and again, we lost a few of them, but I thought this class was really, really deep, just like we've done each and every group of them. Pay them off for their hard work here with a nice round of applause, please.
All right, results of Class 5 in your middleweight division. Our class winner was Miss Sawyer Phipps from Phillips County. I'd like to add that she was the champion senior, or one of the champion senior goat showmen last night. Second was Miles Rutledge from Yuma County. In third place, Cole Spurlock from El Paso County. And in fourth, Adley True from Weld County. Fifth, Peyton Gould from Larimer County. Sixth, Sadie McWhorter, Elbert County. Seventh, Bo Carlson, Logan County. Eighth, Caitlin Meckelberg from Yuma County. And that finished out our top 10. Class 6 is in the ring now. Class 3306. These goats were called to weigh from 82 to 85 pounds. We have an announcement on the Weather Doe show will start 45 minutes after the Market Goat Grand Drive. The Weather Doe show will happen 45 minutes after the Market Goat Grand Drive this afternoon. For those of you who got out of church early to come to the Colorado State Fair today, our goat judge is Mr. Connor Brew. He's originally from Elkhart, Indiana, but now he calls Lubbock, Texas home. And he even managed a degree from Texas Tech, I think, or he claims he did, but he can sure dissect and analyze some goats. We're having a good time with him this morning.
Well, we got one more group here in Division II. This was a really nice class all the way down the line, and I thought the dogfight was between second and third, but a non-negotiable class winner for myself. Again, we've talked about goats that have pretty, they have style. We've talked about punchy goats that have power. There's your perfect twist right there. That goat right there stuck his nose in the gate, and I saw his head, his chest, his ear, his arm, and you're just praying to baby Jesus that he's got a square hind leg and enough muscle from behind. He certainly does, and he fits in the mix. I like that goat awfully well. As I said, I thought second and third was the real debate, the real discussion of where you go. You put those two together and there's your class winner, because they're very different in terms of type and kind. I sit back and I ask myself, which one would I be more comfortable standing behind if we get to the end of the division or the end of the show? And I think it's the goat up front there, the split face goat. He's real nice to look at from the profile. He's better in his shoulder blade. He's more youthful through his chest and more elevated through his front end than the goat that comes in behind. And I just his length, his stretch, his design from the profile. Young lady will twist out on his left rear when I get right in behind him, and he's not just as chunky in the middle portion of his rib or from behind. So if you want to switch the pair, I'm all for it. I thought that was a really close race there. From the shoulder blade back, I do like this goat second that resides here in third. He's real bold in terms of his body shape. He's got some width and some squareness when you get in behind him. When you get him out and study him there in motion, he's a little chunky fronted for me, a little round in the shape of his shoulder. It correlates because I get onto him. He's just a little chubby out of the backside of his elbow pocket. But again, that's a very contrasting pair there in 2 and 3. I'll listen to discussion. I like this goat's handle quality. He is firm and rocked up in terms of his shape. Awfully good in the muscle texture he has down his back line, young lady. He's a little weird in his hock. He's got a little too much bend and set to his hind leg. I get here, and although his shape's real nice down his top line, he's a little flat in terms of his body shape and his width progression. We open that guy up. It's a different story for second in the class, because I like his front end. I like his touch, his tone, his athleticism as much as any. He's just a little hollow, a little closed up when you get on top there. Different speed here. This guy's got the big back shape when you get onto him. I love the middle portion of his spine, young lady. He is big and rolled up in his loin, extra stout and square from behind. I thought about running you up a couple spots because I did think he was fresh, he was nice presented and very powerful. When it came down to it, a lot like a few goats in front of you, just the structure of his front end, his knee, his shoulder, the way his top line will come together didn't hit me as striking as a few ahead of you there, but that's a wide boxy one to round out your top 5. Again, talk to the young people down the line there. We had a pair of pretty goats in 6 and 7 that ran out of steam from behind, but a good group there that deserves a nice round of applause. Well, we'll keep working here through Division 2.
All right, congratulations, Class 6. Your class winner was Dylan Stone from Weld County. In second place was Miss Bristol Lesky from La Plata County. In third was Elia Ehring from Eagle County. In fourth was Bentley Hickey from Weld County. Fifth, Tegan Gallus from Yuma County. Sixth, Emery Chamberlain from Yuma County. Seventh, Lexi Vraybeck from El Paso County. Eighth, Taylor Clark, Douglas County. Ninth, Brody Shreve, Larimer County. And 10th, Whitley Schweitzer from Larimer County. In the ring now is Class 7 with 17 market goats. This is your last class of middleweight goats. Immediately following this class, we will decide who the champion and reserve champion middleweight goats are. That will end the middleweight division. This is goats that were called to weigh 86 to 91 pounds. If you don't know the rules at the Colorado State Fair, if you're not familiar, these exhibitors call their weight to slide into the classes that they desire. If they are picked for the top 5, they are weighed back and they have to be within a 5% margin of error from the weight they called. Either way, 5% high, 5% low. That explains the scales. They are certified by the Colorado Department of Agriculture. Again, if you have recently found your way to the show arena, Mr. Connor Brew is our market goat judge this morning, and he is a coach at South Plains College. If you can't tell by the way he's analyzing and describing these animals, he has a coach's spirit and a teacher's spirit. Let's give a warm round of applause for this young gentleman. Our livestock judge selection committee has done a fine job of finding the 2025 judges this year, as they always have in the past.
Well, I would say, again, like first class, I apologize for taking a little longer, but I will never do that because I want to make sure we're at the end of it a division, and I want to make sure I'm highlighted with the GOATs out here in our final lineup that I'm really, really comfortable with. I think these three here on the front end are real, real challenging, and each one of them has that thing I kept coming back to that I want to nitpick on and kind of come together. The GOAT that I thought was the most genuine, whether they're standing still, from behind, up front, up high, and in motion, is the GOAT we lead out with. Now, he is not just as long and as freaky up through his neck and his shoulder or as strong down his top line as the GOAT that comes in two. But guys, get right in front and right behind this pair, just his width progression from end to end, where his hip, his tailbone, his hind leg sets, he is twice as wide and twice as thick when you get in behind him. Yet still, I thought when the GOATs got out and you studied him in motion, he stayed more true up through his knee, his shoulder, his chest floor, and the way he stayed wedged at the top of his blade. Not only is he just ranker and wilder from nose to tail and all the way to the ground, I like his rear foot, I like his pastern, I like his squareness, a hind leg, and his shape from behind a little bit better than the GOAT in second. Again, I think it's close because the GOAT in second is a real, real sheepy looking one from the profile. He runs uphill, he's nice in his underline, he's long in terms of the stretch of his body and his length of rump as well. As I build that GOAT from the ground up, not only is he more fragile in his foot, he's longer in his pastern and will twist out from behind. He's flatter in his body shape and not as square. As you get in behind him there, I wanted to make this GOAT out to be the pretty athlete of the bunch that handled it well in motion. But as we said, when he gets out on the go, he'll drop his rear foot, he'll push out in his hock, and he's just a little deep and plain there through his chest and his shoulder. So I thought those two were real, real challenging to figure out where you wanted to go. Both very, very nice GOATs. Wish I could put them together. I think this GOAT has a lot of merit, and he certainly makes things interesting here in the group because he's as smooth as any of them there from the profile. Big-footed, big forearm, real, real good in terms of looseness and flexibility. Of those three, he's by far the plainest out of the backside of his blade. He's the stalest in terms of his muscle shape and the roundest over his loin edge. And then you get on to him, young lady, just a little old, a little stale in terms of his skull shape for me. I just like to freshen that GOAT up through his shoulder, chest, and head to run with the pair directly in front of you there. This is just a real boxing meat and potatoes GOAT that comes here in four. I thought his width of body, his width of muscle, and power was really, really good. He's a little short measuring for me, young lady, a little more compact in his kind. I wish he was freer in terms of his feet and leg structure there. Young lady's back again, and again, she has an awesome hand and just gets the most out of this GOAT from the profile. He's nice balanced, he's smooth, good in his underline transition, a little flat right in behind his blade. Same could be said as I get in behind. He gets out in motion, a little piecey on us there. Again, I cannot commend this young lady enough for her showmanship ability. She does a great job. He's just a little piecey, a little flat for me. Work down the line, I talked to the young people once again. That was as challenging of a group as we've had. I thought the top pair was real close there. We'll get you a Division II drive, but give them a nice hand here as they exit.
All right, let's congratulate Class 7. And if you don't think showmanship's important, if you didn't hear that compliment from Connor to Lucinda, you better think again. Showmanship matters. And he just mentioned that right there. But in first place was Mr. Henry Langford from Morgan County. In second was Miss Anna Vetter from Arapahoe County. In third, Bella Campbell from Sedgwick County. In fourth, Cambry Rogers from Rio Blanco County. And in fifth was Lucinda Marez from Sedgwick County. Sixth place, Sable Phipps from Phillips County. Seventh was Piper Joe Hickey from Weld County. Eighth, Lauren Clark, Douglas County. Ninth, once again, was Henry Langford from Morgan County. And in 10th, we had Gemma Mecklenburg Trejo from Yuma County. And the class now is the champion middleweight drive. In the ring, excuse me. In the ring now is the champion middleweight drive.
As we wrap up Division II, your middleweights, I know we got a good group of heavies to come, but I was proud to stand behind any of them in your lightweight. Same can be said as we move through your middles. There were a couple of real tough classes. And again, we lost a few goats that I really liked, but I still think our class winners, our seconds, they match up, yet there's subtle differences amongst them here. I think all first and seconds, they're built right on their feet and legs, and that's the most important thing for me. And then they have muscle tacked on top of it, although there are different molds and different kinds through them here. Just going to give you a quick highlight here. As you can tell, I can ramble and talk stock, so I'll try to be brief. I thought this pair was real nice, real bold, productive, just square, balanced one, led you out. A prettier goat that's just a little fresher stood second. I didn't think he was as bold and as rank and wild when I got in behind him there. We got into Class 2, and that was the group that I thought had a lot of challenge amongst this particular division. We let out with one as maybe not just as stout and as tough and as foot and bone as some others in the lineup, but man, he's real nice to look at from the profile. His pattern's right, his underline, his freshness, and I thought his feet, legs, and maturity curve was better than the goat in second. The goat in second's a baby little steer there. He is stout, he's muscular and ripped up there. We watch him go in motion, just not this guy's kind. In terms of his shoulder, his neck, his front end, just a little quick, a little cute in terms of his size. Got into Class 3, and I thought the pair there for second and third was real close. Hey, if you don't like this class winner out of Class 3, clean the glasses, get the eyeballs checked. That thing right there is real good, and he is hard to pick a major ding in, yet at the same time, he's no common slouch. And I think that's the decision we made in Division I. What's the line of completeness versus generic? And this guy has no big holes, yet he pushes the envelope in so many ways. Big stout noggin, perfect chest, perfect arm, front feet go right, and he's fresh as a daisy down his back line and smooth as can be. He goes in motion. Real nice goat there. Got into the last class. I thought this pair was real challenging. We put a goat third that maybe didn't match up in terms of freshness. I like this pair. There's more junk in the trunk, more squareness behind, and the goat that led you out. And I still liked his rear foot, his paster, and his shoulder blade, his chest floor better in motion than the one that goes in behind. So it's a one-horse race, in my opinion, here for champion, and I think we got a reserve that follows just in line. I am real excited to get to your heavies, get your light or middle back out here. I think this one's an absolute stud, and he needs to be your winner. Congrats to you, young man.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Stone. Dylan Stone, Weld County, has your champion middleweight market goat from Class 6.
As I said, he's not maybe just the wildest necked one or the craziest everywhere, but that guy is so unique in his antagonistic combinations, the stoutness, squareness, shape, balance is really good. And I'm one of those guys, I'll tell you what I think, and I want you to leave after a division or a class and think you have a shot. He's got a shot, I promise you that. We drop in the second, maybe a little flatter, a little plainer, and he'll twist out in his left rear. There's one that follows in suit, and he's probably even just a little thicker and wider, and you get him behind. His breastbone, his shoulder, his head shape, his mouth structure, and just his length and stretch isn't in the same boat as your champion. He's a darn nice critter, needs to be reserved. Congrats to you, young man. Last class will be reserved. Congrats to him.
All right, congratulations to Henry Langford, Morgan County. He was the reserve champion middleweight goat. Congratulations to those young men. Up next, Class 8, our first class of heavyweight goats. They were called at 92 to 97 pounds. Class 8. There'll be 17 goats in this class. Thank you. Attention in the beef barn. Let's gather up some teams and have a cattle fitting contest this afternoon right after dinner in the old Bessie milking area. The old Bessie milking area at 1 o'clock. There's a cattle fitting contest. There's going to be some really cool prizes. When the Reed family gets involved and Sullivan Supply, it is worth entering this contest. The QR code in the middle is the sign-up directions, and McKnight Show Cattle is also a sponsor. But Sullivan Supply, the Showtimes magazine, and McKnight Show Cattle at 1 o'clock, right after lunch. must be this. Ooh. We need some new equipment. Huh? No, we need new shit. We need one of them flying saucers in the middle, you know. A disco ball. Oh, them yeah, them mule fans, they'll hurt. Attention in the goat barn, both locations. Let's have first call for class 9, please. First call, class 9. Should be 14 goats entered. Who's 4-8? 480? Did she make it? Miss Schaefer? Huh?
This is an incredible way to get us rolling here in your heavyweight division, and it's going to be interesting as we keep working through this division, and I'm sure, again, around ringside, a few classes, a few of our winners and our seconds, our champions, reserves have looked just a little different, but I'm not one of those guys that says they all have to look the same. I just like stock that hit me right and have the extras, yet still are fundamental in so many areas. The way I see this pair, this group shaking out, your class winner is better in his rear foot, he's better in his toe, his balance, and his hind leg than the goat in third. He's got more shape and freshness right out of the backside of his blade, and I like his consistency of top line better than the goat in second. Now again, in relation to some others that we've seen in the ring today, is he just going to be the gnarliest one in terms of his forerib, his loin, and his power from behind? That's going to be the question mark as we move through this division. That guy is flawless from the profile, up-fronted, youthful for a heavyweight, and accommodates it with a fresh shape in behind his shoulder. You let him go and let the horses run, and to me, that's where he needs to be your class winner. Loose, flexible, flowy, up-fronted, good-looking. I like that kind very, very well. This goat here in second, standing still, also can give him all he wants. He's probably even just a little thicker at the top of his rump, his loin edge, and his squareness from behind than the goat we start with. Buddy, I get on top of him, and we study his touch and his texture of skin and hide. He's a little bland. He's a little vanilla. Right out of the backside of his shoulder, we get that pair out in the motion. Breastbone, top line, just isn't as consistent and as fresh as what your winner is, but I like both those goats very, very well. From the hock up, I think this white goat here is right there in the thick of things. He is a real stout-headed one. I like his forearm, his body shape, his touch, his high quality, and just his width of hip and pin bone from behind is really, really good. He's a little small-footed as I take him from the ground up, a little longer pastor and a little finer boned. And then I thought in motion, he'd open at the top of his blade. He'd get a little tight off either end of his skeleton. You watch that goat go right away from you. As big as he is up high, he maybe doesn't match it as you take him to the surface, but a very, very nice one there in the 3 spot. I like this goat's balance really, really well from the profile. When the young lady locks and loads him, real flowy in his underline. He's good in his flank. He's sound in his structure. Of this grouping of him, he's just the flattest in terms of his body shape, his loin edge, and he's a little cut up in his twist. When I get in behind him, I wish he had a little more shape there from the profile, but I like that goat's kind very, very well from the profile. This goat here that rounds you out, real muscular. He's a wide-bodied one that probably has more thickness and more true muscle than the goat directly in front of you, young lady. Of this group, and your top 5, he'll get the roundest in his shoulder, just a little plain through his front end, and I thought in motion we'll get just a little stale, a little mature, and a little plain on us, but I liked his muscle standing still. I want to highlight the young man coming in 6 because I thought he was a really good showman as well, and his goats presented immaculate. Good height, a good shape, good touching. I didn't think he was as powerful as I stepped in behind him there. So another very nice class here as we keep working through your divisions. I think we got 2 more to go, so give him a nice hand here if you're around ringside, please.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're gonna set entries until noon.
Okay.
And we're gonna move it down here because we can't get through those.
Well, I just got word the fitting contest is going to get moved, but congratulations are in order for Class 8. Number 1 was Anna Vetter from Arapahoe County. In second place was Ryder Phipps from Phillips County. Third was Emery Chamberlain from Yuma County. And in 4th, Bella Campbell from Sedgwick County. 5th, Jamie Schaefer, from Elbert County. In 6th, Alan Carrasco from Morgan County. 7th, Caitlin Meckelberg from Yuma County. 8th, Colton Hermes from Washington County. 9th, Dalton Demers from Washington County. And in 10th, Peyton Salas from Herfano County. Class 9. Is Class 9 ready, Mr. Vetter? Not yet. Beef fitting contest participants, your location has been moved, and we will accept entries until noon. Right up till dinner time, we will accept entries. Also, the location for the contest has been relocated to it's going to be over here. To the southeast, probably in that driveway where the pigs had to come across. Oh, right across from the Sullivan's trailer. Huh? What? Over here. By the Sullivan's wagon. So you can reach over there and get new clipper blades when you're in a bind. I don't know about shade. It's 90 degrees out there. What's the matter with you? But the location has changed. The dairy cattle people got upset with us, and that fitting contest is going to happen over here by the Sullivan's supply wagon. And we will accept entries until noon. Entering the show ring now is Class 9, your heavyweight market goat division. We have 14 goats entered, Class 9. These goats were called from 98 to 104 pounds. the Market Goat judge today. This is pretty neat. Connor Brew attended South Plains College in Levelland not too long ago, and now he is the livestock judging coach at South Plains College. That institution felt pretty highly of that young man right there. Let's give him a warm round of applause, please. He's a GOAT evaluator. That is very accurate.
as we move through your next grouping of them, once again, one of those classes where I think we have a lot of really, really nice goats, and I want you to know I think the quality is very, very good, yet at the same time, I'm not sure that there's one that just said I had to be a class winner, and I was perfect from every angle and every shot, so I kind of tried to navigate the water and figure out where we wanted to go. Ultimately, the way I saw this class shake out is the structure call became between 4 and 5, the shape, the handle call became between 3 and 4. We got these up, and I thought this goat got a little plain. So once we got these two to the top end, once again, they do not look alike. They are totally different in their type and their kind. One of the goats is not only fresher, he's better in his rear toe, he's longer hipped, he's cleaner in his chest, he's longer necked, he's cleaner there, he's more youthful. So to me, it made sense to start the young lady there up front. Now, he's not just as rank and as wide in terms of his body and his flank and his fill, but to me, that goat is the most genuine in this grouping by a country mile. He is stout in his head, beautiful in his chest, and for a pretty goat, his handle, his freshness, and his shape is really, really good. And guys, I'm telling you, if you think he is built like me and a pancake and has no muscle, you're wrong. You're dead wrong, because you get in behind him, he is as square from the ground up, same with his chest. He's as wide in his hip and his pin setting as anything in the group. Now, he's not as deep in the tie of his twist and his stifle. He's not as soggy as the goat that comes here in 2, and I think that's the difference you need to have. But I've tried to, throughout the day, although we've used some chunkier ones, we've used some stouter ones, when I get a better build, a better skeleton maturity curve, and a fresher composition, I'm going to try to do so, and that's where I think this goat leads out. That's the right kind for this judge in particular. Now again, we've had a few in the ring like the sandy-headed goat, and it'd be interesting to know the pedigree, the mating of them, because a few of them have came in and they've looked identical. You want to switch them and tell me he's a little more moderate, he's a little bolder, he's a little chunkier and stouter from end to end. I completely buy that, because up high, his body shape's really, really good, and that's a big heavyweight that's maxed out and square and opened up down his top line. My problems are he's so darn big up high. As I build the livestock truly from the ground up, he is the smallest footed goat of the top 5. He's the longest pastern goat. He's the smallest bone goat of the top 5. And then you start breaking him down from a composition perspective. He's just too chunky at the roll of his neck. He's a little bland in his back shape for me. I thought his width of body, his power, his stoutness needed to be in the top discussion. I read him a little mature, a little bland, a little plain, a little piecey, but a darn powerful goat there. I like this paint goat when he's locked and loaded from the balance perspective. He is neater up through his front end. He's cleaner in terms of his head and his crest and the goat in front of him. I had to make a call with him, my man. Although firm in terms of his muscle texture, I got to a 3/4 view. I'd like to open him up in his forerib shape, and he's just a little plain and just a little vanilla and stale in terms of his touch. I wanted to freshen that goat up. But man, you're a great showman, and you do an awesome job. A lot of the same can be said about this young man right here. Again, I'm not here to judge showmanship, but 3, 4, and 5, I don't know how you guys did last night, but I hope it was well. You guys are really, really good. This goat from the outside, I hope you like him. He's got the big legs, well presented, super smooth. He goes in motion as good and as athletic as any of them, and this young man's put in the work, because he's chain broke, he's loose, he's nice presented. Buddy, I had to make a call in this setting, just how do we interpret his muscle and his width progression of the group. He's just a little spongy and a little chubby in his handle quality. I get right behind him, and I just need more pins, width, and power to run with the group up high. I thought that was a killer on the front end. Real sound goat there. This goat out-handles him, and I honestly thought about running him up a few spots. Very fresh and true in his composition, nice and big in his chest when you get up into him. We get him going in motion. He'll kick up in his spine. He'll duck his hip, and he'll just kind of swivel his hind leg and gets just a little piecey in terms of his balance. I liked his freshness and his shape very, very well. Like we done, I talked with the young people down the line. I thought the white goat was really, really nice in terms of balance. A little chunky, a little chubby for me. A couple of goats running into structure issues down the line. So probably the toughest group we've had. I thought that was a great pair, although different. Like the freshness and the build there of your class winner.
All right. Congratulations for Class 9 participants. In first place, Miss Tinley Becker from Phillips County. In second place, Blake Boschel from Weld County. In Louisiana, we'd say Bochelle. But in third, Dylan Wagner was from Logan County. And in fourth is Dominic Maldonado from Weld County. In fifth place, Jaylyn Miner from Yuma County. Sixth, Benjamin Fritzler from Logan County. Seventh, Aiden Pittington, Jackson County. In eighth place, Alan Carrasco from Morgan County. Ninth, Abry Spruill from Montezuma County. And in 10th, Stockton Musgrove from Elbert County. Entering the ring now is Class 10. This is our last class of heavyweight market goats. They called those weights from 105 to 110. We will have 13 goats to evaluate in this class. After this class, we will evaluate our champion and reserve champion heavyweight market goats. For those of you in the audience, we will have a 30-minute break after the champion and reserve champion heavyweight class before the grand drive. And then the weather doe class will be 45 minutes after the grand drive. There's still lots of goat show to go.
Well, I think this is the end. We got a heavyweight drive in a second, and we'll do your grand in a bit. But before we do, I want you to know how much fun I've had today. And I know, again, at times I tell you, hey, man, I think this pair's close. And you can switch some things, but hopefully you know all I've ever tried to do judging livestock shows is just tell you what I see and try to be as accurate as I can. We're passionate people in the livestock industry, and those that know me, I know I'm as quick as anybody to throw a sprayer and a poodle comb and get mad and say this judge is terrible. So I get this game. I know what we play, but I hope you know this show has been challenging. It has been absolutely incredible, and it's been very, very fun. The most fun I've had judging a show in a long, long time. I've had to use my noggin. I've had to think, and there's been so many differences. It's real enjoyable. I'm excited to get your heavyweights out here in a few and see how we stack up because it's going to be dicey here in just a second. I thought the real fight came between second and third, and this lineup, to me, your class winner puts them together. He's got the style and the extra balance and structure of your second place goat with the chunk and the muscle of your third place goat. To me, he's complete. But to me, he's not common. That goat right there for a heavyweight is just so genuine. From front to rear, he is fresh compositionally. He's square all the way throughout, and then he's a balanced goat. I won't tell you he's as long and as freaky necked in front as the goat in second. He's not just as extra dense. Everywhere you study him as the goat in third. That's why he wins, though, because he just puts it all together into such a nice package. That goat will get out and cover his track. He's good in his rear toe. He's good in his stifle. His top line's strong. It's fresh. It's square, and it just all completes it and just fits in what I call a powerfully proportional package in relation to the goats behind. He's so much stouter in his melon, his head, his chest, and his shape than the goat in second, and that's where I made my call there. This thing is wild from the outside, and I'm sure if you're watching on camera, my wife's watching right now on the drive up, and she's probably saying, I'm about to scream at you here in just a few, because this guy from the side, he's cool to look at. He is an up-fronted, rocket-necked, freaky-shouldered one, and I just love the way he's built out of his front end, his neck, his shoulder, and then he hinges really, really well as far as looseness of top, spine, structure's all really, really good. I had to make a call on this goat here. His head shape bugs me quite a good deal. He's a little long and slender in his head shape, and I think that's just the precursor. From there back, he's not as bold and round in his body shape as the goats on either side. He's not genuinely as tough and as stout as the goats on either side, and then you get down their back line, it's kind of confirmed. He's just a little soft behind his shoulder. His loin edge is rounded off a little bit in relation to those two. So in total, I thought that was the athlete, the pretty goat, the youthful goat through his front end. I just didn't think he had enough horsepower to take us to the long haul in a heavyweight division, but that's a darn nice one from the side. We got a different story here, and the goat coming in third, and hopefully you could tell I like stoutness. I like power. People think I just like them pretty. I like stock to have stoutness, but balance right. This guy is real powerful and muscular from end to end. I love his width of body, his width of hip from behind. Like a few we've put second, third in line today, he's just too mature for me. Up through his front end, his neck set, his shoulder blade. Compositionally, he's a little bland. He goes in motion. He'll kick up in his top line. He'll stutter his hind leg and close up from behind. I thought that goat was just a little bland, a little PC and mature there. This young lady, again, man, it's hard. She has a really good hand and has done an awesome job all day. This goat's fresher than the goat that goes out in front of you, and I like his composition a little bit nicer, and he's a real strong back goat with a good look through his front end. I got one pass right behind this quattro of him. He ran out of steam. He ran out of foot. He ran out of bone. Nice goat there from the profile. A lot of the same can be said about this goat rounding out your top five. He's real attractive. Up there through his neck and his shoulder, real loose and good in his top line. Hips long, it's level, hind leg set's good. He's just a little spongy, a little stale in terms of his shape when you get onto him. Not as punchy as well when you get right in behind him there. Like we've done, talked to the rest of them down the line. I thought that was an excellent class of heavyweights. It's about to get dicey. It's about to get fun. Give him a nice big round of applause here. We're going to get you a heavyweight champion.
All right. Congratulations to our contestants in Class 10. First place, Anna Vetter. In second place, Cole Spurlock from El Paso County. Anna hails from Arapahoe County. Cole is from El Paso. In third place, Blake Boschel from Weld. Fourth, Jalen Miner from Yuma County. Fifth, Sawyer Phipps from Phillips County. Sixth place, Cami Kriego from Larimer County. Seventh place, Jamie Schaefer, Elbert County. Eighth, Braden Wiebert from Morgan County. Ninth, Alan Carrasco from Morgan County. And in 10th place, Casey Quang from Boulder County. Next up is our champion heavyweight Market Goat Drive. We need 1 and 2 from Class 10, 9, and 8. From Class 8, from Class 8, Anna Vetter was in first, and in second was Ryder Phipps. Class 9, Tinley Becker. In second place, Blake Boschel. And in Class 10, we just saw Anna Vetter for the second time and Cole Spurlock. This is your heavyweight drive, champion drive. After Connor anoints these two, we will have a 30-minute break. A 30-minute break after the champion heavyweight division drive.
was get your heavyweight champion. We'll take a little break before we get you a grand, which is good. I like having just a little bit of time to reflect and ponder on a couple things and decisions through a goat show. I thought this heavyweight division was real challenging. There's a pile of very good ones, yet at the same time, they all look just a little different and maybe sculpted and shaped in a different mold and fashion from the outside looking in. And again, I'm the only person today that gets the privilege to get on top and to handle all these goats. So I try to weigh out the pros and cons there in that regard. What I do know, though, is this heavyweight division, although very challenging, it's been very good. And the kids right here in front of you, really good showmen with nice presented goats. They've done a great job with them here, and you've done it every single class. So please, before we get you a champion in reserve, give them a nice big round of applause here for all their work. You never know what you're going to get as you work through a heavyweight division. At times, you just kind of expect a big old pumpkin that's maybe a little old and cold and stale, but I really like these goats. I think they've all held together compositionally very nice. They're all fresh. They're all true when you get onto them, yet there's so many differences. I'm going to tell you where I'm at here on this division. We got plenty of time here. I have no idea what time it is, truthfully, but it hasn't felt like it's took too long. After we got through D1, I want you to know where I'm at here because I think we only get 5 in the overall drive, so I want to make sure I got the ones I want. We started out with a nice pair of goats, and they're very different in their type and kind. I thought the goat that was second, probably a little stronger in his back foot, probably a little thicker when you get in behind him. I thought you got out of that goat and you break him down, his breastbone starting to peek out and age into him, showing to him, and then right behind his shoulder, he's just a little bland, a little vanilla in his muscle texture and shape, and I just didn't read him as loosey and goosey as your class winner when you study him in motion. But if you want to tell me, again, he's just a little denser in his toe, a little better in his pastern, a little square in his rump structure, I completely buy that. Again, he's just a little vanilla, a little plain, and I think especially when the young man gets out of him, that breastbone will peek out and show his age and his wear and tear there. Your class winner, boy, I'd like to just strengthen his rear foot just a little bit there, and then I think we're off to the races. That guy will grab some serious ground. When you get out in motion, high-headed, he's proud, he's youthful, he's square in his chest, and he turns strong right in behind his shoulder blade and from there back. Again, his rear foot bugs me just a little bit, and he ain't the thickest critter in this lineup in terms of his loin edge, his back shape, and at times he'll get a little plain through his shoulder and his chest. But I thought that pair set the bar real nicely here to your heavyweight division, although very different. We're back to different kinds once again, and it's the same way the whole way through this division, and I'm all right to say that. I think your goat that leads out class 2, that's the one from the profile, just locked and loaded that I gravitate towards. His chest is shoved right where it needs to be. He's a youthful, sheepy looking goat to me in terms of his balance, his underline, his shoulder length, and just his strength and length there of top line's really good. And I thought he was fresher at the crest of his neck. I thought he was better in his breastbone, his maturity curve, his shape, his pastern, his hind leg than the goat that lands there in 2. And that was the decision for me. Sweetie, we got to make a call right here, right now in the heavyweight division. Is he just thick enough from behind to win a heavyweight division at a state fair? That's the call we need to make. He's a little round and a little plain in his loin edge. He's a little cut up in his crotch and his twist. He's probably the smallest footed goat in terms of just actual substance underneath in relation to some other goats in the lineup. I like his balance. I like his youthfulness. He's as fresh as they come in a heavyweight division. Does he have enough steam? Does he have enough punch to win a heavyweight division's the call. This goat that was second has that there, and I told you if you want to switch those two in class and maybe pair up and team up some burlier ones, I'm all right with that. This goat's wide open. He's round in his body. He's big set from behind, and I like his body type really well. Again, I asked myself, which one am I going to stand behind in a heavyweight lineup that might make your top 5? And those that know me know I like him pretty. I like him stout at the same time. He's just a little crude for me up to his front end. Just the shape of his neck, his shoulder, his breastbone, the way he'll open at the apex of his blades, a little mature. It's a little plain for me. And then take him from the ground up. He's probably the worst in terms of his pastern, him and our class 1 winner, but he's smaller footed. He's smaller boned. So to me, he's so big up high, but he's a little small down low. I just don't know if the curtains match the drapes on this particular goat, but he's a powerful one. There's no doubt about it. We get here to the last class, and I think that, again, they're very different in their type and their kind. From profile and on camera, I hope you like the goat that's second. That goat is one wild-looking heavyweight who's shoved right up in his chest. He's beautiful through his shoulder blade. He's better in his neck and his front end than the goat we used to win this class, and he's still fresh. When you get down his back line, not as firm, not as hard in terms of his muscle shape. The call we had to make on him is he strikes me a little gangly in terms of his size and just his actual overall build there. I'd like to stouten his head. I'd like to broaden him up when you get right in behind and just rip him up in an area or two. But I just think that goat's silhouette, his skeleton, his feet and legs, and his look is really, really hard to deny. We talked about your last class, just your class winner there. Will he thrill you as much as the second place or the class 2 winner through his neck and his shoulder? Absolutely not. But I don't think he resembles the goat that was second in class 2 either, because he's still cleaner at the base of his neck and his shoulder. And from there back, that's the goat to me. That's the roundest in his shape. He's the biggest and squarest from behind. And he emulates a powerfully balanced goat that matches up like your middleweight champion, and just so fresh and honest for a heavyweight. He fits together from a length to height to size to width ratio to me, and it just all makes sense and correlates in that particular goat. Stout, power, balance, freshness to the absolute nines amongst this particular division. So we got to make some calls here which direction you want to go. I think there's a pair that are very, very different, yet at the same time, to me, they're the most genuine from behind. They're the squarest, they're the freshest, and I think they're going to match up real good here in just a few. We've got some nice goats, but I think the two that need to stick together come out of our last class. They'll be champion in reserve. Congrats to them.
Congratulations to Miss Anna Vetter and Mr. Cole Spurlock. Anna was the champion heavyweight goat, and Mr. Spurlock exhibited the reserve champion heavyweight division goat. And I'll tell you what, folks, for a Sunday, we done got told the goat message this morning. All right, we've got a 30-minute break. The grand drive will be at 11:35. I will make the first call at 11:30. So we'll have a true 30-minute break. 11:35 will be the overall grand drive for the market goats. Marlon, do you have any news on buybacks? We need goat 331, please. 331, come on down. We want to look at him again. All right, we got the thumbs up. We'll start with our reserve division champions. In the lightweight division champion, reserve goat. Oh, sorry, never mind. So our champion lightweight division was Miles Rutledge. Middleweight was Dylan Stone. And the heavyweight champion was Anna Vetter. They will position themselves in the show ring. Next up are the reserves. Mr. Trent Mock, Henry Langford, and Cole Spurlock were your reserve Market Goat Division champions. Let's give these kids a round of applause. They've done a heck of a job. Some high quality market animals in that ring.
Well, as we wrap up your Market Goat Show, I know we still have a couple does and some classes to work through, some showmanship. But before we do and kind of get things wrapped up here, you guys have been fantastic. And the work that these young people, these six, not only them, but everybody has put in, this has been one of the most fun livestock shows I've ever had the privilege to evaluate. It's been tough, but it's been very, very high quality and fun. So if you guys would here, I'm going to ask you a couple times to make some noise. Please give them a nice big round of applause here before we start. I see some people around ringside that have showed under me before or kind of know me and have been to livestock shows, and usually this is the point of things where I kind of just wrap up and get you out quick and say a thing or two. I'm not a big grand drive speech guy at all. Hopefully you could tell, though, as we work through the day, I really enjoy working with young people. I can talk about stock all day. I can talk to young people all day, but usually this is the time where I don't have much knowledge or wisdom for anybody around ringside here. Hopefully I can just relate a little bit more to you showmen. Being a little closer in age probably than most guys you'll get here in a ring here. Before we do, we got a couple things that we're going to have to do before we wrap things up and put a bow on them. Mr. Marlin, I don't know where he's at. I think he disappeared on us, but Mr. Marlin and Robin Taft have been absolutely incredible. I get a privilege to go to a lot of livestock shows from a contract, getting judges here, everything, travel, and they deserve a nice big hand here if you guys would. Not only them, but what's fun about this industry, it's such a small industry. When you really think about things, Marlon and I were talking about over the drive here, your pig judge the other night, him and I grew up 15 minutes from each other. Our announcer up there, his daughter went and judged at the same place I went. His other daughter's dating my college roommate. And you just start thinking about things in the industry of how small this community is. It's really fun to sit back and see. Another thanks I got to give to my wife. Again, a year of marriage here, and we spend more time apart than we have together. With both of our jobs, traveling, me judging shows and working with my judging kids, we don't see a lot of each other. She had a Sunday where she could stay home and relax, and I was going to fly back tomorrow. And instead, I need to get home. I need to get back and get rolling with judging kids. She's driving 6 hours right now to come pick me up and drive back tonight. So I need to give her a thanks. We met at our state fair. We met in the barn playing cards with our best friends, and it's stuck with me since. So I hope you guys, you young people here, probably relate and enjoy that part of the livestock show as much as anything. Enjoy your time sitting back with your friends, shooting the bull, talking bad about the judge, talking good, whatever you want, but make sure you enjoy it and find fun there. So again, I got one more thing here. Before we get you wrapped up a grand champion in reserve, as I said, I have nothing as far as life and the wisdom and knowledge go, but I think we all know if you're here right now on a Sunday in this building, you believe this is really, really good for your young people. You enjoy it, you've invested money, and you really appreciate this project, and that's what it's about. We all know that. You don't need me to tell you. One thing I do want you guys to do, this industry is great. It's amazing, yet at the same time, we're very stubborn and passionate people, and we're all big on, you'll be fine. It's all right, you'll be fine. Guys, there's young people, there's people around ringside that are struggling each and every day. You don't know who they are. And again, it might sound sad, it might sound somber, but I ask myself, why am I judging livestock shows? I hope if there's ever one thing I do judging a show, if there's a young kid that's struggling and trying to find their way, that hopefully I can give them some sort of encouragement. Check on your people. We're passionate, we're upbeat, we like doing this, but we never check on our friends and check on our people. And people are struggling in this industry. I see it on Facebook every day. There's kids from 45 minutes away, my brother-in-law's best friends, that have taken their lives. They're in this industry. We know it's great. We know it's amazing. But please, when your kids get home, check on them. Take care of them. Ask them how they are. We like to stay closed. We like to stay, we're tough. We're tough livestock people. Nothing gets to us, but it does. So please, please, more than anything, check on your people. Check on your young kids. It's a very, very big problem out there, and it's something I'm very passionate about. Again, I don't get choked up often, but it's a big thing I see, and I work with young people on the daily, and the only reason I do is for that reason right there. I just hope if anybody's struggling, find my Facebook, find my number, it's online. Please don't spam call me, but give me a nice holler, and I'm always willing to talk for you. That's what I'm here for. Guys, we got a great goat show, and there's a heck of a nice ones here. Fire it back up. We're going to get you some grands.
Congratulations are in order for Mr. Dylan Stone from Weld County. He has your champion market goat for the 2025 Colorado State Fair. Let's give Dylan a big round of applause.
This will be the last time I take the mic before we work through your does and showmanship, but I just thought that goat put every single good part you could ever ask. He looks like a steer, he looks like a heifer, he looks like a sheep, he looks like a good barra. He's good stock, in my opinion. It gets really close down the line, and I hate to have to leave one of you out of the top 5, but this has been so much fun. Again, I hope you guys know my passion and where I think about your young people. Please give me a holler if you ever need it. We're going to put the mic down. It's a close call for reserve and third. Jesus bless. Give him a nice big round of applause here, and we'll get you a reserve.
Your reserve champion, market goat for the 2025 Colorado State Fair, goes to Mr. Miles Rutledge from Yuma County. Let's give Miles a big round of applause. These young men have worked hard all morning. Third is Miss Anna Vetter. Fourth, Henry Langford. And fifth went to Trent Mock. Let's recognize our sponsors. The Grand Champion Market Goat Buckle was sponsored by Blue Ribbon Processing over in Fowler, Colorado. The trophy was sponsored by the Colorado State Fair Authority. The traveling trophy is put together by the Colorado State University Department of Animal Science. The banner was provided by the Colorado State Fair Authority. Your reserve Grand Champion Market Goat, the buckle, once again was sponsored by Blue Ribbon Processing in Fowler, Colorado, and the trophy and banner were sponsored by the Colorado State Fair Authority. Third through fifth receive a banner from SureChamp DuraFirm, and we appreciate those sponsors. That is, give those people a round of applause or a pat on the back. Anybody associated with the Colorado State University Animal Science Department. The Dean of Agriculture, Dr. Lawrence Dill, has been seen roaming around the state fair since yesterday. And any of your commissioners that you see, Mr. Kim was here, and Nikki is here. When you see those people, just thank them for putting on a wonderful Colorado State Fair. We'll have a 45-minute break, and then we will run into the Weather Doe class. Contest, the Weather Doe be in 45 minutes.